Hello, I'm Faye Waterman, the Conversation Curator, and today we are going to be talking about what Kristina Milosevic's superpowers are. And Kristina is a digital marketing coach. She's a podcast creator and a speaker and consultant, but she's so much more than that. What she does for her clients is she increases their visibility and their presence online. Welcome, Kristina, and thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. I'm super excited having me today. And hello, hey. Happy to be with you on your.
Now, Kristina, tell us where you are in the world, because I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and you are where?
I'm in Belgrade, Serbia, Southeast Europe. Yeah, I'm in Europe.
Yeah.
Belgrade, Serbia.
Beautiful. And look what we can do. Our superpowers are that we can talk to anyone, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's true. We can speak about superpower.
Yeah.
Power.
Now, Kristina,
in the world.
Let's get a little bit of your backstory, where you come from and how you got to where you are today. And on that little journey that you're going to talk about, you might recognize some of your superpowers. But before you start, tell me one of your superpowers.
Oh, persistence.
Persistence. I love that. Yes. Okay. So give us a little bit of your story.
Oh yeah, and thank you. I'm super happy to be with you. Yeah, and let's say back 20 years ago, maybe I just start with something. But when I was a kid, I like foreign languages, for example. I love to speak to people. I imagine to travel around the world, sit down when I'm on school vacation on summer. I sit down in front of my, in my garden, in my backyard, and I was watching on the sky and planes just were flying, and I was always imagining some faraway countries, especially Australia as a country of my dream, to be honest. And yeah, and when I was growing up, and when I really, I really in an online space, I really live my life in dream what I had as a kid. And I was working and, it starts graduating economics and English language and speak, by the way, in French and Italian. But anyway, I was working in corporate. It was a newspaper house, and we ran some publishing projects, and I was there I worked as marketing manager in that corporate part, and I fell in love into digital space, in online space. And it was for now, let's say 15 years ago. And then, we work with journalists, go to some conferences, where you are in publishing industry, you have a newspaper industry, and we have television in that time, this company. And it was just amazing. And I traveled mostly in Serbia, not too much overseas or abroad. And then, and I was like, okay, I love what I do, have a chance to meet amazing people, speak to them, work with them, and publish such amazing books. It's about, did you know? It was like that. Did you know? The name of it was the series of the books. And it was some like column in newspaper, but we were put that in our in some kind of books, and it was 7. We published 7 books, and it was such amazing questions, because and people love that, and we sell that books. It was really nice, and we have some magazines and other things. And in that time, internet was just like, it was just blooming up, just to go. And then I started connected with many people around the globe. It was in that time was very popular Skype, and then after that, 2010, back in that time, I cut off my corporate job, and that part of that company was closed, was shutting down, and I started my freelancing journey.
And how, what was it like when you left the corporate side and went into starting something for yourself? What was that emotion for you?
It was fantastic emotion, because I know that in that time, it was too deep. Just when that part of that company was shutting down, it was work under the pressure. It was such a high pressure of managers, and I had a hormone disbalance and went to the hospital. It was such some time when I was exhausted, just feeling, because I love that job, I love everything, but sometimes my energy was so slow. So in my journey as a freelancer, to be my own boss, to have my freedom, you answer your question. In that time, I was I realized that I love to be my own boss, to start my online, just to start my business journey, my own business journey. And I know that I will have my freedom, especially in terms of time, how I wanted to work, who I do want it to work, when I want to work. And this is how I started with my business in online space.
And that's exciting, but it's also scary at the same time because of the unknown. But when you were working in the corporate sector and you said there were high emotions and there was pressure there, did you think you were in burnout at certain stages throughout that time? Because we can get to burnout when we don't even realize it, because we just keep pushing through until such time that your body says, no more.
Yeah, it was like, for me, it was burning out. It was lovely to work in that part. I was working there for 15 years. But when you just and you feel sometimes that you go and go, and you don't have time to see that you're in pushy part, just that you're in some way like in vortex, just to move, and then you just feel exhausted, and you realize just my body was like was very tired, in my mind and everything, and that I was thinking, okay, it's a final time to change something. But in that time, just it was that part of that company was shutting down, so we stay without job, and it was time when I need to start my business journey, to see how I can move and have step forward in that way, just to and step out in some unknown zone.
So when you started your business, was it in the digital side of things? Because you were working heavily in the digital side, producing books and magazines and doing all that sort of thing. So it was a transition from that digital area into a digital space of your own.
Yes, it did, because I fall in love into that digital part of business, and I started my team for the web and graphic design, and we produced and built websites and landing pages and graphic design for corporate in that identity. And my job at that time was as a marketing manager and project, because I was working with clients, talk to them, try to figure out how I can connect with them in online space, and in my market was in overseas, in Australia, for the first client overseas. And then I remember that very, very slightly, very clearly, and also in USA, but we also started working with clients here in local market.
And the digital space, working with websites and landing pages and doing all that sort of thing back in 2010 was a big thing. And you were working with clients who needed websites to promote their business and do all that sort of thing. Then you transitioned after a few years and became what? What else did you do? What was your superpower when you were working in that digital space of websites and landing pages? What was it for you?
For me, was superpower, power to move in that unknown zone, as I said, and to try to connect with new people.
So connection is a superpower of
Connection,
yours.
yes.
Yes.
And I'm superpower in that. My superpower is to connect with people.
Beautiful.
And nurture that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And start through the social media, working with them, because I started the first on LinkedIn, 2009. But after that, I created some Facebook page, profile, because there are many of them who used Messenger and Instagram too, much more later. And yeah, and I met amazing people in Australia especially, and start connecting with some online association of business women or organization, or through the social media, Facebook groups, and everything what they do is organically, and also on other platforms on LinkedIn. And in that time, because as I work as a marketing manager and connect to people and talk to them, and also do through the referral marketing, just to help them in terms to build websites for them and landing pages and design for corporate identity. In that time, it was that people need something to help them, how to advertise, how to get leads, how to manage their traffic from social media to their website. And 5 years ago, after, it was like, let's say that I was 2010, it was like 2015 now, let's say, but at that time I had, let's say, 6, 7, 8 years experience in marketing as a marketing manager and team for the web and graphic design and consulting. And I started working as a digital marketing coach, because this is from my background, because people need help in that. And I saw that from my experience and doing organically, and do for them, they need SEO, search engine optimization, how to optimize their website, how to optimize some kind of their social media, how to start creating strategy for their social media, let's say on Facebook, on LinkedIn. This is the way how I started my digital marketing coaching.
Beautiful. And then as you're working through, we don't think about what our superpowers are, do we? We just do what we do because it is our, what am I saying here? It is our profession, and we just get in and create for people. So another one of your superpowers is not just connection, but it's creativity. So you're creating for people the things that they want and they need for their business.
Yes, that's so true. Yes, creativity, and when you have ideas how to help them, because every single person in the world is different, and
Yes,
you have different approach. And when you approach to new people, this is new person, this is a new vibration, this is new energy. And when you have someone in front of you, you just need to listen that person, what that client needs, what is the problem, what is in stuck. And sometimes, or many of them, they don't know what they want. They want something, but they don't know where to go. And this is that creativity, how to create something. But I think from my experience and what I experienced, that I have to be such a good listener, to listen how I help, because we can offer solution, but I need from start to the end to listen my potential client or clients to see what is the problem, how I can solve that problem, and to run to the process. Because I cannot say that I can give you some final results and resolution, how I can say, just to solve that. But you need to listen, to be such a patient. And what is so my superpower is that I really have time and energy and patience for my clients.
It's all about, because you create for people, your listening skills have to be amazing. They have to be forefront of everything. So because clients would come to you, they kind of know what they want, but they don't really know what they want. So you're listening to them and listening to what they're not saying and hearing all this, and then you go away and you have a think about it, then you come back and you have another conversation with them and listen even more to who they are, because your creativity is bringing out their creativity and putting it in a space, in a digital space, so that people can see who they are and what they do. So your superpowers, I would say, there's several of them. You said persistence in the first instance. Then we looked at connecting with people and having that conversation. Then looking at the creativity and how you can create for each individual who is different. And then listening to what they say, and they're saying to you what they want and not really sure, so that you bring that back to them, that emotion, that is an emotional essence there for them to not understand or not know exactly what they want. And there's an emotion in that. So you're listening to all this, you go away, you come back and you create and build on that emotion, you build that creativity, and you watch the energy of that person that you're working with.
Yeah, that's so true. Yes. Yeah. And you just admire sometimes yourself, because you should see that, especially when we build a website. Every new website is like a newborn child, because every single person, as I said, is different, and you try to design it to figure out, to see what they need to, this is and when you finish that, because my team does that, but I also am here to run them to the process, to let them know, especially as English is my second language and they need to translate them, to explain them what they need. And sometimes there were times when I was all night messaging to understand what my client needs. Especially it was one lady from Australia. Yeah. And I'm super, and when I see that I've resolved that, and how, just imagine how it's such a big thing, just that you see that you resolve that problem, and that this person, that client, is so in satisfaction way, and you can always get back. And what is so good? Persistency, consistency, persistency. Just to be persistent with something, and believe in yourself. As I said, be persistent, be consistent, be successful. So there are three of my motto, which I put in my Spotter's book, Global Women in Business, which is published in Australia 2019, which I'm I'm so happy because of that. It looks like a dream, but now I've done imagination and visionary to work on global level, and finally I'm here, just to, as I put that in my chapter on that book.
And you're working with people with their emotion. It's all emotion, isn't it? It's the emotion, and you're dealing with that. They're working with so many different components of their business, and this is just one of them, but this is a very emotional part of their business because they want it to be right. So you step in, remove that stress from them, and become the creator of something that, when you take it to them, excites them and makes them feel. How does it make them feel? What is it that you feel when you present them with a website or a landing page or something digital that will transcend their business into the next level?
And do you think how I make them feel when we finish website for them, when we create in final version, or before we start working with them? Just to be clear on your question.
I think the process, the whole process, when you start with them, you see where they're sitting. They're quite stressed because they don't know where to go or what to do. And you take them on a journey. It's a journey of no, yes, I don't know, all those sorts of things that would be going on with them. But you would maintain a presence that is, what do I say there? That is kind, understanding, and listening to where they're at and what's happening, so that you can take that stress away from them and continue to do what you need to do to present them with the end result.
Yeah, this is such a great, this is excellent question, because we as human being, just to get back a little bit with emotion, every single time when you start with some of them which is new, who is new in your for collaboration, or you work with old existing customers, this is a point in some way of that way that you speak once and see what they need, that person XYZ, and run them to the process and get the other call, and the other call is going to be Zoom or the recording, and we get back, or I send them what we spoke about, that they know what they need to do, that if they need domain name, or if they need some hosting company for host, and all those kind of things, content, images, everything, or they need to produce new image to take photo, or just, there are many things around. And this is such a, it's a very a lovely process, because you can see how they move forward, how they are in progress with that. And I love that. And when you finish that, you feel such a good, you have such a good emotion for me and for that person, and you create something new, and you can see. But they always ask me, Kristina, can I get some new clients there? No, you should manage your website. You have managed, you have when we finish website, and we say, you have your website now, but you need someone to manage it. You must know how to optimize it, how to promote, how to connect with and get traffic from your social media. Where is your audience? Who do you want to serve? Who do you serve? Is it based product-based company, or is it service-based? Depends. Or do you have some e-shop, internet shop, whatever may be? But this is such a good process, and just it's a good emotion part, and sometimes through that process I also learn from my clients, because they discover some new skills, and on that way I start designing. For example, I have never designed before, but when I see that my team doesn't have time for me to design some graphic for my podcast, what I do, or some graphics for social media, I need to do it, and you in that interaction work, for me, interactive work with client is so, and we are going to be a friend sometimes, or they can help you on some health issues, or just to start conversation, ask them how they are, how is their family, because this is something like you nurture your clients as a family, and this is how we can move forward in that way.
It's building relationships and that trust, so that, when they need more, because when you're doing something digital, there's something that changes, so that you need to maintain it. And as you said, they've got to come back if they don't manage it themselves. You do that. So there's another superpower for you to have that understanding of what the needs and wants are of your clients so that they can optimize putting themselves out into that digital world. And that's what you do well for your clients, keeping them in front of mind of their clients and their audience, which is really important in the digital world because we can get lost very quickly in the digital world.
Yes, that's true, because if you have something, you have your web presentation, you have your website or landing page or whatever may be, this is your presentation, and you don't know that, but today if you're not present online, it's something that you're not in a business in some way. Because why? When we wanted to buy something or whatever, we are going and Google it and ask about and see who is that person, what information about the company which we wanted to work. I'm just talking about in general, when we wanted to do something, whatever may be, or go to the YouTube channel to learn something new, or just whatever. And yeah, as you said, if they have a presentation, they need, I teach and coach them how to promote, how to build that online presence, because how to get traffic, how to get visibility, just to know, because they have a website, they have done that for them, but also they don't know how to move forward. They're on that statement they pay hosting, domain name, and that web and graphic, all those kind of things, but they need to connect to move forward on social media, to get traffic, to connect with people, how to do that. And this is my coaching part. I coach them how to build that presence and how to create strategy for them in organic way. And SEO, as I said, search engine optimization, how to optimize when they wanted to browse it and move forward, when people, how to put their keywords and other things for their websites or landing page or whatever.
So let's sum it up and say your superpowers. What do you think they are? And then I have a feeling, or I know what they are, but what do you think they are? The strongest components of what you do and how you help people.
I like to build relationship, trustworthy, credibility, and do that on long-term way, just to be with them for many years. This is what just to be, as I said, persistent, but to encourage them for example, and that way I have some challenge, and I was doing something like social media management and digital marketing plan strategy, and I was a little bit shy in terms of being in front of the camera. And I've done 21-day challenge, and in that time, 4 years ago, I started I created 15 videos and hosted 4 entrepreneurs. And this is how my podcast is come from. Why I'm telling you, because of visibility. I wasn't stuck in some way, but I just, I moved forward and started to from that challenge. And challenging is so important, to challenge people to move and to encourage them. And it was from Entrepreneur Day. And after that, this year, I've done rebranding. It's KSM Growing Business Online with podcast, KSM Podcast, Growing Business Online with Kristina. And this is the way how I help them, just to invite them to be my guest speaker, to be visible, and I think that everything is on that point, in the place which is need to be.
Yeah. So I say your superpowers are persistence, creativity, building relationships, building trust. And how great is that?
It's so great. And encouragement and to encourage my clients and my connection to move forward. You know, I had 4 guest speakers who were for the first time on some kind on podcast, and for them, my podcast was the first time for them, you know, and to encourage them to move forward. And this is because I love what I do, really, and I'm heart-centered entrepreneur, to be honest. And I said many times, and sometimes you see that how I encourage them to move forward with all my energy, with all my love for my business, and they recognize that and they resonate with that. This is not only it's a business part, but we are human beings. We have vibration, and when we are the same way vibrant, there an energetical level we really can connect, and we really can move forward, you know. And this is something very, very good. And there are many of my connections, let's say 3 of them, who offer me partnership in that way, just to work on some partnership projects, what I still do, you know. Yeah. This is the other part, but mostly we're here to talk about this digital coaching part.
Well, we're here to talk about your superpowers, and your superpowers are persistence, connection, building relationships and building that trust, because that's how you work with your clients. It's that trust, it's that relationship, it's that continual relationship, not just when you've finished the job. It is continual after that, because the momentum builds as you go through. And yeah, so great superpowers, Kristina.
The point, thank you. It's so good, so important to nurture your connection.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
For my experience, last month, I have one from a guest speaker, and this lady is from Australia. I know her for 9 years. And after 9 years, you know, we are in 9 years in digital space in connection. And I invited her, and she, when we do recording, she tagged me and said, it's 4 a.m. morning, me and Kristina, you know, because you're in Australia 8 hours ahead of me in summer time. And it was like lovely just to, and this is what I want to share, because this is 9 years is such a long time of period, isn't it? To connect with someone, and when you ask someone to invite to join your podcast, it's lovely just to be. This is credibility. This is trustworthy. I mean,
yes. Well, I would like to say thank you so much, Kristina. For I mean, it's late for you. It's early morning for me. It's wonderful to be able to connect and have this conversation and talk about what you're good at, what you're brilliant at, bringing out your magic so that people can see it shine on the outside, so that people want to connect with you. And I think that's wonderful. So thank you so much for your time, Kristina. I'm Faye Waterman. This has been a conversation with Faye, and it is What's Your Superpower? I'll be back soon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you.